That's how I stopped a war in Bulgaria using just a rusty sport.
Wow, babe. Did you take the dog out yet?
PlayStation.
I'm gonna be honest, some of y'all are dramatic. Crash 1 is not that bad. On the same console Crash was made, Bubsy 3D was made. Take that into big consideration. But honestly, it's a good 3D platformer if you're up to the challenges that it provides and you know how to beat those challenges without giving yourself hernia. It also has a lot of cute and comical little characters in this game that worm their way into my heart. There is definitely some goofiness, some zaniness, some hee-hee-hees, and some ho-ho-hos to experience through this game. I'm getting tired of hearing my man's being slandered. He don't deserve this treatment. Get bro out of the box. We gotta understand right now. So come near, child, and I'll teach you about the Bandicoot. You'll definitely enjoy this little game. Or not, I really don't care that much. The Bandicoot started life a long time ago as a wombat. Wombats are cute little rotund little boys. They don't really look like Crash at all, and you think that's not important because they definitely would have changed the design when they changed from Wombat to Bandicoot. But he was on his finalized design when he was called Willy the Wombat. I don't even know how that mistake was made. This does not look like a wombat, sir. To give them some credit, there is concept art that does look like a wombat, like this one by Butch Hartman. This little fella's a little zany, which seems to be the motivating factor for a lot of Crash Bandicoot's design choices. In the first game, they really made Crash as dumb as possible. They gave him this big, cheesy, grotesque even looking grin, and complimented by giving him crossed eyes when they can. I guess you'd also say that his choice in blue shorts and red big shoes also show how stupid he is, but I mean, Banjo fans will be looking at me with a big side eye right now. They end up making a little zany man and have to make him a little zany counterbalance for the story, and they make Tawna. Oh! They initially named her Carmen, but I guess they changed it because they thought it was too normal. And they made her very clearly a wombat. I guess that's clear if you took your glasses off and you squinted really hard, but they still made her look way more like a wombat than they did with Crash over here. I have a feeling the developers want to do more with her than they ended up doing, and I think probably the reason why they didn't end up doing that is because the big bosses at Sony were like, I think it's a shame though. It'd be really fun to see what kind of Jessica and Roger activities these guys came up to. The last character to mention is Dr. Neo Cortex, which is the story's main villain. And he's the most greasiest looking man alive. He looks like the villain from Meet the Robinsons. He puts Dr. Doofenshmirtz to shame. Look at this guy. He ends up being the least intimidating force in this whole game, but I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. He's a really funny and creative villain. The plot of the game is actually pretty simple. Cortex is a mad scientist who makes experiments on animals to make big super troops. Crash is one of the animals, but I guess bro was too stupid that the machine did not even want him. So this man goes out the window and falls down to the Wumpa Islands, wherever that is. Cortex plans to make Tawna his next target, which, man, I don't know if y'all ever thought about this, but I give full kudos to Dr. Cortex because he wants a woman to be a part of his army? That's crazy. That's like, bro. Oh, I'm impressed with you, bro. Good job.
What have I got?
Now Crash Boy has a mission, and you gotta play as Crash Boy through this mission. And if you play games that I do, it'll be apparent to you of how much 16-bit platforms influenced this game. This does not really feel like a 3D open-world game that was very popular during the 1990s. This is a 2D platformer with an extra dimension. Even if you play 16-bit games though, there's a little bit of you're kind of screwed because if you don't know how to work the back and forth, then you end up making a lot of wrong decisions. But you'll get used to it over the course of the game. Hopefully. Maybe. Probably. I really hope so. The first grouping of levels are pretty fun. I like them a lot, and they get you pretty used to the mechanics if you know how to work them right. I don't like the water levels though, but that is just specifically a me thing, because I suck at them. But no level in this section ever sticks out to me as being particularly rough or unplayable. It's all fun games. Playing through this section always reminds me there was a dingo enemy that they were originally going to have, but they ended up cutting him out. They shouldn't have. Look how cute he is! First two bosses you have to face is Ripperoo and Papu Papu. Papu Papu is a character I like. I like his design and the color palette. It's really nice and colorful. His boss amounts to nothing though. It's not that unique of a gimmick, and once you get a hold of it, it's so easy to get. It's kind of fun, but I mean generally the whole appeal of Papu Papu is the character and the little animation. Now the Ripperoo fight's more fun. You get to experiment with the TNT crates, which become very ubiquitous with the series. It's a little more of a pain because the timing of the TNT crates when you have to jump off, at least for me, is very complicated, but I chalk that up to a bad sense of rhythm and design flaw. I also love Ripperoo. Ripperoo is my favorite boss when it comes to design in this entire game. Look at this dog. I love his little straitjacket, and the sound effects are of Dallas McKinnon from Lady and the Tramp. As a Disney fan, it's a nice little detail that makes me enjoy this boss fight a whole lot more. Overall, the first two boss fights are not that bad, but Ripperoo is far, far, far better, and I really hope they make a Ripperoo the game. Please, Toys for Bob, please make a Ripperoo the game! The next batch of levels is a bit more tricky. And not because all of the next few levels are tricky, it's because whoever designed this game did not understand that there's supposed to be a gradient of difficulty. They will have a very easy level that will take you not that much time to beat, and then behold onto you a behemoth. There's nothing really wrong with the behemoth. Well, right after a little cakewalk? Thankfully, one of the game designers had mercy on us, and the game is decently forgiving on lives to compensate for the hard sections. In every level, give or take, there was a ton of bonus room, which is a little box puzzle that awards you extra fruit and extra lives. You also get to see your loving girlfriend at the end, for some reason? Why did Cortex let her out? Wasn't she supposed to be the general of the army? Bro, you're disappointing me, bro. What are you doing? This array of Crash Bandicoot levels introduced my favorite subtype, which is the Dark Temple levels, or I really don't know what to call them. They have nice little puzzle aspects, and as long as you know when to jump and when to crouch and when to do all that stuff, then it's pretty fun. I would say the bats would look better if...
I'm going to the river, gonna jump overboard and drown.
Okay, so, Road to Nowhere kinda sucks, but I mean, it's not the best people make it to be. It can be pretty fun as long as you know the way to get to the end of the level. You have to be very, very particular about where you land on that rope, though. But if you take a few breaths and get a little comfy cozy, then it's a nice, kinda bumpy ride. Just takes a little time and some elbow grease and a 44. Next is the boss fight I have any type of resentment towards, and it's Koala Kongs. It's just because it's not fun. I mean, Koala Kong's kind of a goofy little character, I can give him that, but other than that, the like rock throwing mechanic and it's okay. I'm just saying if there's an option to play this game without playing this boss fight, I would choose it any old day. Now, Pinstripe Potteroo is pretty fun. I like his aesthetic. He's a good character, I don't doubt that. I love his yellow eyes and the gritting teeth and all that. It's pretty fun. I can see why dodging the fire out of his Pinstripe Potter gun might be a bit of an annoyance, but for me, it's a nice little puzzle. And I mean, I can replay that boss fight over and over again and not get tired of it. It is on the complete other side of the enjoyment spectrum than the Koala Kong fight. It's nice! Now, after the little duke out with Pinstripe Steal Girl Root, you get Road to Nowhere number 2, which is not as fun and more difficult. Yahoo! I think this level is the true villain over the other one. Even though it's not really that much different, I just did not enjoy the challenges this one. It seemed a little more unfair. We got more falling platforms and flipped turtles and relatively very harmful leaps of fate. So, it's okay. And I mean, I think in retrospect, it comes a lot more softened for me because of the level next. I simply refuse to slippery climb. You can't make me do it. Anyway, this is the worst level in this whole game. This is the worst level I've ever played in my life. I never have screamed so much at a game in my entire life than when I first played through this level. Ever. I still love this game, though. The levels after Slippery Climb really emphasize that slow and steady wins the race is the name of the Crash 1 game. If you get caught rushing through, it is certified death. I can see why this is a downside, and as a man who does seem to gravitate to playing games fast, I did feel that downside. But I don't think having a game using your brain more to make important decisions instead of just your instinct is that bad. I mean, people play chess and Tetris, and there's some big brain activity when you play those games. Now, am I saying that playing Crash will make you a smarter, more helpful person to general society? No. The levels become longer and harder, so the game becomes shorter and shorter here, so we're already at the embryo fight. The fight's a little silly. It's my second favorite though when it comes to the quirk. I like squishing the little green fields and dodging those KOs in a can. And then bro's down to 1 life and you're like, oh, he's gonna be short and sweet again. And then he goes, oh! The 2-part thing is a fabulous idea. It makes the whole experience cute and comical for sure. Pretty good fight. Hate the character though. Why you named it a fetus? What are you thinking? Now, Embryo's the second to last fight, and you expect after this to be a whole selection of bad and tough levels. And you know what's funny? The game is easy, or at least easier after this. The level afterwards is tricky, but if you take the slow and steady wins the race approach that I mentioned last time, it's not too awful. The jumps are tricky, and the scientists are annoying, and the little create to movement ratio, or whatever you like to call it, is hard to control sometimes, but overall, it reminds me of a level that would have been before Pinstripe. It's not that bad. So now, here it is, Cortex. And the Cortex fight was about as easy as the Embryo fight, except it didn't have that second round, and it feels mighty short. It's not bad. It's, like, fun, but, like, also, like, wow, it was that easy? I know you're a wet pal of a man, but come on, bro. Now, we're reunited with our girlfriend. We go on the little blimp and wonder why she's not in a military uniform and why I'm with her. I'm a really weird-looking Bandicoot thing. What's going on here?
Darn you, Crash Bandicoot.
Now, boys, I'll admit through playing this, I was yelling, jumping, reacting, and jiving, and all of that. But I liked it, and I liked it a lot. In my opinion, this game, for me, provides me challenge that it's not stupid and unfair, but it's fun and exhilarating. I don't think I've had this much fun playing through a video game in a little bit, and I'll be honest, I can understand why it's not everybody's taste, and, you know, at the end of the day, I can understand why it's called primitive by some people, but, you know, it's a good game.
So I'm gonna tell you guys.
Oh, I got so dizzy. Oh my god.